All right, guys. I thought I would do answer some of your guys' comments. Some of you guys got some good comments. Others, not quite so much, but at least some things we can explain. So I thought, you know what? Let's do part of the analysis on, now that I've processed this a little bit more and got my poop in the group a little bit, of answering some of your comments. So I'm going to answer a couple comments of why I don't think that's possible right now, and then I still go over. I don't look at every single comment, but you'd be surprised how many comments I look over, my wife looks over, my daughter looks over, gives me some feedback on some things that maybe I should answer. So feel free to come back and throw a comment on there, especially on the mass exodus video there. So as you can see, I'm just trying to do a real quick video. I wanted to do some answers, and at the end of this video, I want to also just show you some stuff, projects that we got going on in shop, because I'm looking for your input of things you'd like to see, things you'd like to find out about. Because if I'm going to continue to do this, I want to make sure that it's productive, that it's profitable for me, that you guys are interested, that you're going to make comments, that you're going to share. So I'm going to go around and show you some of the projects, some jobs at the shop that we are working on, and then have you do that at the end of this video. But first, let's go over this a couple comments that I have seen. One of the one comments that I have seen is we didn't torque the rod bolts. Miraculously, I will tell you this for a guaranteed fact. If rod bolts are not torqued, they do not make it past idling before there is stuff loose and knocking. Ask me how I know this. I've been doing this for 30 years, and believe it or not, a really long time ago, I left rod bolts loose. And occasionally, probably within that 30 years, once or twice more, I've had one of my guys leave stuff loose. And I'm telling you, the engine starts up, and within 20, 30 seconds, that thing is knocking like a freaking freight train. Okay? So, they're not loose. And to boot, if you go back, I know that some of you guys, this is maybe the only video you've seen. Maybe you only saw the last video. I have the entire engine build explaining these connecting rods with me actually torquing it on video. Okay, so I have the entire engine build. If you go back just a few videos, you can see this entire engine being built. The entire thing. I go over the whole deal. So maybe you don't know that, but if you go back a little bit, you can see this entire engine being built. You can see me talking about these connecting rods, and you can watch me torquing these. So to say that we forgot to torque the rod bolts is just silly, because you didn't go back and look at the other videos that we have of it actually building it. And if they're not torqued, I promise you, within 30 seconds, they're knocking. Personal experience after 30 years. Okay, that is one. One of the other comments that I heard was that, let's see here. Kyle, what was one of the other comments? The pulling the modifying the rod. That's one of my personal favorites. Okay, if you notice, now I needed to modify the pin end of the rod, the very top of the pin end of the rod. Notice that out of all the bucket of parts here, and I showed you the actual in the video, there is the small end of the rod that I have modified is still in the motor. It's still attached to the piston. It did not break. Everything here is broken very close to the middle of the beam. Very close to the middle of the beam. I've sent there's one more that's left in this oil pan. Broken down here. There's a reason why you don't see any of the pin ends of the connecting rod where I modified, because it did not break there. Did not. It's still left in there. I showed you the video from the bottom of the motor. Did not break there. The modifications we did not break. I do that on a lot of these rods. In fact, every one of these engines with the different rod manufacturer that I normally use, or I had normally used, and still normally using. This is the only set of these rods, by the way, that I modify every one of those set of rods, and they've gone, the last set of rods I had in here had 30 passes and 900 miles. So you can kind of take that for what you like. And then I think I'll do one more comment, because I think this is a general assumption. Okay, what I hear is everybody or the vast majority, or not a vast majority, some people are always, they're looking for some kind of, there must have been something wrong. You know, these rods have never been in this style motor before. I was trying something. I was trying something new. I didn't build these rods. I was trying another vendor, and I still will probably work with him after he figures out what happened here, because I want to be fair with people, give them a chance. But these rods were not some rod that has been in every pro modified motor out there. They have not. In fact, as far as I understood, this was probably the first time this type of rod from this manufacturer ever went in this high a horsepower engine. Okay, so that's giving you a little more information, so you don't just think that, oh, those rods must be okay, it's got to be something else. I'm just giving you information. So this is critical, the way of critical thinking of the rod bolt thing. That's just A, it's not logical. B, there's actually video of me torquing them. C, this is, you know, what exactly happens? That doesn't happen. Then the other one was, oh, the pin modification. Critical thinking is, if I made a cut on the rod and modify it, wouldn't it have broken there? Critical thinking, okay? Then the other one there that we're just talking about is, hey, this isn't the common connecting rod that we always use. It's a proven piece. I'm working with them because they were going to be working with us and trying to figure some stuff out. Okay, so that is just a couple of the answers to your comments. You got more comments, leave them, because I do look at a lot of this stuff. Go ahead, like, share, whatever. Now, I'd like to show you some of the stuff that we have going on at shop. Oh, I'm sorry. As you can see, I still have not gotten the engine out of the shop, or out of the car. So this is Wednesday. I looked at this stuff on Monday. We'll talk about some other comments tomorrow, but haven't gotten it out. I got to work on customer stuff, so customers take priority. So let's go look at some of the customer stuff here, okay? Okay, so what I've been thinking, I'm not sure if you guys are interested in, is maybe going through, it'd be longer process, more videos, or at least longer videos of, for example, this is the land speed car project that we're working on, of doing the, getting you up to speed right from the beginning of what we're doing through the whole project. It would be a little bit long, a continual series, but I'm not sure if you guys are interested in that. Or if we did something like that, like right here, like we had already talked about this engine, Matt Hobbs's engine, we had to change the dampener because this is a fuel tech system, and fuel techs do not want to work with a 4-magnet balancer. Just my experience. They love working with a 12-magnet balancer. Interesting to note, Holleys do not want to work with a 12-magnet balancer. Very hard. And it's a cam sync, crank sync combination of, in particular, this kind of combination for how wide the window is in the cam sync to the pickup. But Fuel Tech wants to work with a 12. Holley doesn't want to work with a 12. I had a 4 on here because we had done this engine quite a long time ago for Matt, and he got it all mocked up, put together in the car, and then sent it back to us. So I needed to change this because we've tried to start this and struggled. And it's like, you know what? Once again, we figured out that 4-magnet is such a bugger trying to make work on Fuel Tech. So, kind of giving you some information on that, but, maybe the next time, if you guys are interested, you got to leave, comments if you're interested in the entire buildup of an engine. I'm thinking maybe we can, start videoing that with, Kyle working on stuff, or Also, not just showing you the end result of the build, but actually showing you, you know, how we got there and machining stuff. Not sure if you guys are interested in the machining or not. Like this engine here, Kyle's working on, and we had a water leak on the intake manifold, so we had to take the manifold back off in order to seal up the water leak. So Kyle's working on this thing, and this one's actually a little bit different. It's going to be NA. So you know, what kind of things you guys are wanting to see. You know, the engines are in multiple processes. From, you know, M2 is over here putting the cylinder heads together for, I don't even know what engine he's working on, to tell you the truth. We have, this is one of our top sportsman big block Ford motors for John Gardner. So this one's a really nice deal. 3,000 horsepower, big block Ford, Pro Charged. Big block Chevrolet for a good buddy of mine, Jared Warner. Obviously, I'm still working on, and I am doing for sure, doing a build up on the SML. So this is the first SML, still in process because obviously I'm totally upside down. You can see here, this is R&R connecting rod. This is a common connecting rod that we have used. I know these ones work. Anything can break. Sorry, but that's just fact of life. But in general, I've never seen anything break like that. But, you know, we're going to do a complete build up. So I got video on this that we'll be starting to release of everything from, you know, putting the crankshaft in to camshaft to how everything's working, the mock-up, etc. So if that's something that you're interested in, you know, kind of let me know. We have some Viper V10 here stuff that Mitch is working on for Ned Dumphy, which is kind of interesting stuff. In fact, I'm not sure where you're putting that together at, Mitch, or where you at on it? Right there. Oh, it's all right here. So like, yeah, so like this is Viper V10 program that we're doing for Ned Dumphy and Vengeance Racing in Atlanta area. Putting a new set of rods in it. Had a issue with, broke a timing chain, but interesting to note, the Vipers, there is nothing available other than this timing chain. Jessel has never made anything. There's no gear drive available. There's just a stupid timing chain. We figured out a better timing chain that doesn't even technically go with a Viper, but it this new one is an iWish chain, much better. But really limited on the kind of, you know, 3,000 horsepower stuff, and there's a couple limited parts in these things. Our own billet cap, we make the billet caps for those. You can see that there. Again, this has this one has R&R rods on it too. This one has not had any issues other than the broken timing chain, and it just had a problem with Ned went out and was #1 qualifier in one class, #1 qualifier in the next class, and then all of a sudden it lost compression. It lost compression because the valves, the stainless steel valve that we had put in it after we did the rebuild from breaking time chain. So obviously broke the timing chain, bent a bunch of valves. Couldn't get the valves that we needed for it. Ned wanted to go racing as fast as he could. We put in the best valve that we could find, which was a stainless steel intake valve, and for some reason, again, crap happens. These things tulipped and lengthened out so far that they held the valves open and lost all the compression ratio out of it. So it went from #1 qualifier in 2 different classes at the event he was at, and then all of a sudden the thing isn't even running because the valves lengthened out so far. Not a tune-up related deal, not anything other than a problem with metallurgy, the part, whatever you want to call it. So that's just little stuff. So, you know, all these things, and these are, you know, heads that, you know, we port here now, the hoops. Our gasket showed up today. That's cool. So, you know, this stuff is all ready to just get put back together with new titanium valves that through, I don't know what kind of bells and whistles Vengeance pulled off, but somehow Vengeance ended up getting the titanium valve like we had already been running in it that don't have problems tulipping, make it getting longer. So a lot of stuff going on there, Oh, a lot of stuff going on there. These are some jobs that we're running on dyno. If you guys are more interested in dyno stuff, or you're more interested in the build up or projects or whatever, big block Ford for Wayne Silva, all billet, methanol twin turbo deal. This will be a big horsepower deal, really nice. Ron Westner, a weird little F2, not weird, weird because we didn't do this intake manifold. This is a Hogan's deal that he did. Intercooler in between. It's interesting. Obviously, our hydroplane boat deal for SCHALLER that we're working on doing some blower testing for them. And lots of stuff. So, anyways, like, subscribe, leave us some comments. I'm looking back over the comments of what kind of stuff you guys would like to see, and going over comments on the mass exodus explosion of the wagon engine. So I will be getting that out and apart, and as I tear that apart, we'll do some videos on that so you can see what all is going on there. There's some other comments I'll address probably tomorrow, and definitely look at other comments that you guys might have, but address that stuff, and more than happy to go over and help you guys do some critical thinking of how things work, why things don't happen the way they don't happen, and why they do happen the way they do happen. So leave comments. I'm more than happy to answer that stuff and kind of trying to figure out what everybody'd like to see. So I am Steve Morris, Steve Morris Engines. Have a great day.